Good evening, Professor, and good evening, classmates at Grand Canyon University. My name is Austin Fennell. I'm coming to you live from Omaha, Nebraska, and tonight I'll be giving my reflection on the essay Body Ritual Among the Nacirema by Horace Minor from the University of Michigan. First things first, for me, this was a very fantastic read. I am a very big person when it comes to history. I love reading about history, and for me, I didn't even know about them, so it was very, very interesting to read for me. Now, the Nacirema, who are they? Well, they come from North America, more specifically the Canadian Cree area, the Yaqui and Tarahumara area of Mexico, and the Carib and Tarawak area of the Antilles. Now, how do they conduct themselves as a society? Well, it's a market economy, like a class system. You have your high, middle, and low class. Market economy, basically, you could look at it as even today in America as capitalism and across the world. We all pretty much use it. It's our way to make money as a society. Now, for them, in a religious aspect, and to understand them completely, they view the body as ugly. That's why they have body rituals. And for them, it's a way to perfect themselves, to be presentable in front of people. For them, they believe that if you have a cleansed body and cleansed mouth and everything, it's a lot easier to make friends with other tribes, other civilizations, etc. To us, you could look at that as basic hygiene. You get dressed, take a shower, or you take a shower, get dressed, deodorant, brush your teeth, go out in town, meet a few new people just by how you are, and all that. It's a lot easier to make new friends that way. Now, religiously, too, when it comes to it, first things first, they're pagans. Let's just get that out the way. Now, when it comes to them, they have shrines, and the way that the shrines are and how these shrines have different rituals, it's only discussed amongst the children. It's separated by families, so every family has their own shrine, regardless of class. And for them too, if they have something, let's say it's a charm, and the charm has outlived its usefulness, they will not dispose of it, as they still believe that it has some power, so they will put it in a charm box, which is near the shrine, and they will keep it there. It's a way to worship. It's a way to give tribute as a gift, in a sense. And one of the most fantastic things and one of the most interesting things I thought about reading this was the medicine men. The medicine men are one of the biggest pieces in their society, and the way they do things, you can compare it to the Native Americans of old North America, the ancient Celts in Roman times, as well as the Vikings as well, with how they gathered herbs to cure ailments, stuff like that, seers that would give out prophecies, etc. And we'll get into that in a moment. Now, for the medicine men, they would, if you had an ailment of the mouth, such as tooth decay, whatever, they would put you under the scalp and they would prod you in a way that you would give off pain. They would say, hey, he has something. And they would, in dentistry, if you have a cavity, they fill it. In their society, if you have a cavity, they would cut a hole and fill it with a magical potion. Now, these magical potions and ingredients, they are made with so many ingredients that only the medicine men know how they are made. And when they are giving it to their patient, as a doctor would, hey, take these once a day, they would give these ingredients out and write it down in an ancient language that only they understand, so you would not be able to understand it. And when they give it out to the person, they say, hey, pretty much take one of these, but there would be so many ingredients, the person may forget what it does. And if that's the case, they will back off and say, hey, I don't want to take this again because I don't know. They'd put it in their charm box. They still believe it has use. For women as well, if they have smaller breasts, it's not normal. But if they have a decent size or bigger size, it's considered normal and more attractive. Matter of fact, a lot of the women in their society who were very appealing would make a living by going village to village and getting paid for people to stare at them, and sexual intercourse as well. And you could look at that as modern prostitution as well, and a lot of other things. But the fact is a lot of what they have in their society is still reflected to this day, and we still practice it, and we've made it better in a sense. One of the other biggest things I thought about was the witch doctors for them. Now, the witch doctor would be equivalent to a seer in Viking mythology or Celtic mythology in that way, as they would sit you down and they would cure your body of this disease that you have in your head, like cancer, PTSD, or even if they believe you are beset by a demon. In our world, in the Christian perspective, Satan sends demons and he may possess someone, must be exorcised and must cleanse your body. And it's very, very, very interesting to learn about all of this and see how it compares and contrasts to modern societies and even modern religions nowadays too. For them, one of the biggest things, and going along with this with the witch doctors as well, and how they just conduct things. As I said before, you can compare it to a lot of the other ancient civilizations that we know, and the witch and the medicine men, and how they conduct things, and the shrines too, and how they have things. All in all, it is very clear to see how there still is things that they did even back then and still do to this day. They still exist, and it's still hard to believe that they exist even with how the modern world is, but they still exist, and they take it very, very seriously. From the read, from what I gathered, we would view it as very barbaric in how they do things, but for them it's normal. And it's just because of how we are, and I believe that learning from them and how they have done things, and especially when they talk about how you present yourself and present the body to people, that plays an extreme role in intercultural communication. As if you come not dressed, or if you come off differently, maybe using your hands like how we do in America, we use our hands to communicate a lot, but if you use that in a different culture, they view it as disrespectful. For example, the Middle East, they view that as disrespectful. So for them, the way you present yourself is very key to creating a relationship with another culture. And yeah, as I said, guys, it was a very fantastic read, very, very interesting. I would highly recommend this book or this essay to anybody who's out there trying to learn about, communication, languages, stuff like that, or even just history. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening, and have a good night.